Hi, friends. The bracket is officially out. The bracket is officially out. And I'm not going to be here all day because we're going to talk about this on the pod in depth. But, but, I gotta look. I just, I just gotta get off some of my initial thoughts on this bracket because I have questions. I have concerns. I don't know how they did this. I mean, I do, but I don't. But I do. Let's just look at the bracket. Let's just look at the bracket. I said I'm not gonna be here all day. I'm not gonna be here all day. Um, so let's start with this is Spokane one. We're gonna go in order. Spokane one. Things that I in this bracket, UCLA is the number one overall seed. That's the first thing I have a question about. I get that UCLA only lost to one team this year, but compared to South Carolina's resume and the head of NCAA's bracketology thing, she said it pretty much was because South Carolina had that really bad loss to UConn, and I get it, but at the same time I don't. At the same time I don't. UCLA lost to the same team twice in like a 2 week period, and they looked worse the second time. Granted, they won in the Big Ten tournament, but still, that's my first question. The next one, Ole Miss. Ole Miss not getting a top four seed, and they said that they was compared to Maryland, who was the final fourth seed. I don't know if I like that either. Moving down, LSU falling to a three seed kind of shocked me a bit. Um, that kind of shocked me a bit. I'm not gonna lie. Um, but it's not the worst thing because I guess they're technically the best three seed. So, um, and then shout out to Harvard getting a 10 seed. That's gonna be cute. Michigan State versus Harvard is gonna be insane, actually. Um, moving on, Birmingham 2 again. South Carolina being the number two overall seed. I have questions. Um, Utah, Indiana could be very fun. Maryland, I mean, part of me is happy because I did say if Maryland like got the opportunity to host that I would go watch. So I think I might have to hold my word to that. Columbia, Washington will be in very interesting matchup. Um, and then Duke being a two seed, I'm happy. I'm actually really happy for them. I'm really happy for them. Um, but I very much need that Duke Vanderbilt matchup to hold because that's going to feed families. Okay. Um, moving on to Birmingham 3. Now, Texas getting the third overall seed. Another case of I have questions. Another team who lost to the same team twice. And then the one time they did win, it wasn't even a good win. I mean, they won by 4, but they lost by like 20 in the championship. How, like, even following the South Carolina logic, it's not a bad loss, but that's a bad loss. And you would still put them number 3? I don't, I don't get that. Um, Ohio State is a team too that I'm kind of like. I understand why you got to be a 4 seed and you got the host, but at the same time, like they've looked crazy. Ole Miss could have very easily taken their 4 seed spot, in my opinion. Um, but saying all to say, Ohio State and Tennessee need to be serious because I need that matchup bad. Um, the biggest thing on this section of the bracket is Notre Dame being a 3 seed. I feel like a lot of people are being really, 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 really mean to Notre Dame. Um, because they lost. The they didn't win the conference championship, and they had those two losses. But what I think people are not recognizing is that they lost to Florida State, who was, I think at the time, a top. They were a top 25 seed. I think they might have been 24. Florida State was a top 24 seed. And then they also lost to North Carolina State, who was a top 15 seed. Like they lost, the end of their season was two ranked matchups. And both of those teams ended up being top four in the ACC. And they didn't lose bad to either team. And then they ended up losing to Duke, who ended up being the conference championship. Like I just don't like I get that they don't look great, but I feel like it's feeling unfair. It's feeling unfair, and I think a lot of people was writing think pieces about them, and it really wasn't that serious. Um, moving on, cause I'm gonna repeat this rant on the pod. I know I am, but it's getting weird. It's getting weird. Last regional four, um, South Southern Cal and UConn in the same bracket. Crazy. They matched up last year. UConn obviously took the win over Southern Cal, so that's gonna be fun. But I feel like they both kind of got hoed. Like honestly, I probably would have swapped you Southern Cal and Texas. Heck, I might have even put UConn as a number one seed. Just and I get the fourth one is supposed to be all the like closey ones. So mm, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, this is the overall bracket. Um, you can't see some of the corner. Um, things I am happy for though. The Columbia Washington matchup will be fun. Ohio State playing Princeton, breaking my heart, but I need my girls to lock in. Um, shout out George Mason, Arkansas State, William and Mary, um, Grand Canyon. All of them are first time to the bracket, first time to the NCAA tournament. So super proud of them. Um, and Arkansas State, William and Mary, and George Mason are all led by black women coaches. So like just super 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 excited for them. Um, so yeah, that's the bracket. That is the bracket. I look, man. That's the bracket. Again, we're gonna dive deeper into this on the pod on Thursday. Follow us, subscribe to the channel, because we're gonna dive deeper into this and look at some of these matchups. Um, we should have the March Madness technically starts on Wednesday. I'm pretty sure either Wednesday or Thursday. I think it starts on Wednesday though. I hope it has because I've been saying that for days now. um, so we'll see what actually happens, and we'll dive a little bit deeper into these matchups. And yeah, I'm really excited, and we'll probably do predictions and all of that. Also, if you want to join our bracket challenge, I'll link it in this video. And thanks you guys for tuning in.